Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. Our focus today is on the most common form of arthritis, affecting millions of people worldwide. It's called osteoarthritis. It's also known as degenerative joint disease or wear and tear arthritis. You're going to hear directly from an osteoarthritis patient and from an expert who can tell us about treatment options and a new study that might help you and others. Nancy Gell is a physical therapist and an assistant professor in UVM's College of Nursing and Health Sciences, and Rosemary Kahn from Burlington is going to share how she manages her arthritis symptoms with mild exercise. Thanks to both of you for coming in.
Thank you.
Nancy, start by telling us, what is osteoarthritis?
Osteoarthritis is a condition where the cartilage, which is the cushioning in the joint, where the cartilage wears away, and this causes some roughening of the joint surface. And so that's what leads to the symptoms of pain and stiffness that people often feel when they have osteoarthritis.
Are there other types of arthritis?
There are many types of arthritis. So that's sort of the umbrella term, arthritis, for many conditions such as rheumatoid arthritis or juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. And osteoarthritis is the most common and the one that we see in most people, but there are many kinds.
Is arthritis preventable?
So there's a genetic component to arthritis, to osteoarthritis, and we can't change that. But there are methods, there are some approaches that we can take to help prevent or minimize the symptoms of arthritis. So the first one is exercise. So keeping fit, maintaining the strength in the muscles that support the joints can help prevent arthritis. Also, weight management. We know that when there's more weight on those joints, like the hips and knees that we call weight-bearing joints, that can add to the wear and tear on the joint. Even a loss of 10 pounds can make the difference in someone's symptoms. So it's not a matter of that it has to be a huge weight loss that people can experience some benefit from. That's
terrific. Are there any myths about arthritis?
I think there's a lot of myths sometimes for treatments where people try some quote-unquote miracle cures, and there's myths that exercise can make it worse. That's a myth, and we know that actually the opposite is true, that exercise can help prevent arthritis and it can help people manage their symptoms.
What treatment options are there available?
So the main treatment that we recommend is exercise. So using exercise to maintain the strength of the muscles around the joint, keeping fit, aerobic fitness, so being able to walk, and maintaining the motion of the joint, as well as balance exercises, which many people may not be aware of. All of those can help with managing the symptoms.
Well, Rosemary, let's bring you into the conversation. How long has arthritis been a problem for you?
Oh, I think maybe about 15 years it started. I didn't really recognize the symptoms, but they progressively became more and more noticeable and painful.
And how did it start out? Tell me a little bit about some of the earlier symptoms.
Well, I guess I noticed it most in hiking and biking. I loved to do both of those activities. And as time went on, it was more and more difficult to do that. And it was very frustrating not to be able to. So with the, finally, the guidance of physical therapist, I was able to strengthen some of the areas around the knee joint that had been giving me so much trouble. And by learning to do exercises, which in the past I hadn't focused on doing properly, I was able to strengthen the knees enough so that I am back on the trails.
And I think that's really important, because a lot of times your doctor will say, well, do this and this and this, but it's really up to you to carry it out and keep with the program.
Yes, and having the guidance of a physical therapist over, I think it was 3 months' time, I got in the habit of doing the exercises regularly, even though I didn't always want to.
Tell me a little bit about some of the exercises that you do as far as that will help benefit some of the areas that are affected.
Well, when I first started, they were very limited exercises that didn't stress anything, just trying to keep my legs straight and press it down to the floor. But as time went on, I started doing squats with a therapist. I had been doing them so incorrectly, thrusting my knees forward, but with her help I was able to keep them back. And then as I progressed, I started doing squats from the side on a bench, and those have really strengthened the muscles in the upper leg that are keeping my knee in the right track.
So it sounds like this exercise has really kind of jump-started your efforts.
It has, yes, and keeping moving in all respects, whether it be stretching or doing some minor weightlifting at the gym, has all been very positive.
But doing it the right way.
The right way, yes, yes.
Are there any local resources available for Vermonters who are interested in exercise for managing arthritis symptoms?
Yes, we have on the Falls Free Vermont website, which is fallsfreevermont.org, we have put together a list of exercise options for older adults across the state. So it's across the state of Vermont, listed by county. You can go to the website and put your zip code in, and it'll pull up the exercise options in your area, or you can pull them up for your whole county to see what options are available to you for exercise.
And so are there any options to participate in research related to osteoarthritis here in Vermont?
There is. I am currently the principal investigator of a study sponsored by the University of Vermont Center on Aging, and we are conducting this study with our clinical partners at D Physical Therapy in Heinsberg, Shelburne, and South Burlington. So this study, we are looking at comparing two different methods for giving people the home exercise prescription. As Rosemary mentioned, sometimes it's hard to do the exercise program on your own, and so we are testing two different methods to see if we can help people do that home exercise program so that they can have the benefits like Rosemary.
And who's eligible?
So we're recruiting people age 50 to 75 who have hip or knee osteoarthritis as they are ready to start physical therapy. So people who, like Rosemary, have found that they're not doing the things that they want to be able to do, and they're ready to start that exercise program guided by a physical therapist. And the other criteria are that they have access to a mobile device like a smartphone or a tablet that they would be willing to use if needed in the study, and that they're willing to fill out questionnaires and track their exercise.
And so how can someone learn more about the study?
So we have a website, we have a website that I've posted here, and anyone can email me at mobilept@med.uvm.edu. I know that's a long one. And my number is 802-656-9265. So I encourage people to call and ask questions if they have questions about arthritis or if they're interested in learning more about the study.
What's the timeline of this study?
We will be recruiting through the spring, and people who participate it takes about 12 weeks total to participate in the study.
And what kind of a time commitment is it for folks who might want to participate?
So they receive physical therapy based on what they need, but we have an estimated visits based on what most people need of 1 visit a week for 6 weeks, and then they check back in with the physical therapist after another 6 weeks to make sure that that home exercise program is still on target and meeting their needs.
And Rosemary, do you have any advice for folks out there who might be just starting this exercise program and thinking, I really just don't feel like I want to do it?
I do, because I wasn't sure when my knees are stiff, and I just didn't want to move them. But once I started little by little and just kept with it, it made a huge difference. It's just hard to think that something that's stiff and painful should be moving around, but that's what helps the most in my case.
Is that one of the problems that folks think it's just maybe older age, and of course my joints are going to be stiffer, and they kind of ignore the symptoms?
That's right. They think that it's a natural part of aging, where we know that we can always build strength in our bodies. That's the amazing part about the human body. We can still improve and increase our strength and work on our balance and our fitness at any age.
Talk a little bit about the balance aspect of it too, for Rosemary, for you.
Yes, that's huge. I still struggle with that. And I notice, I go to a senior exercise class, and I've been in it for 8 years. It's at UVM. And when I first went, when we did the standing on one foot, I thought, why, this isn't even exercise. And now I bobble around, and it takes a lot of
Well, really, you don't realize
faithfulness.
that it involves your core as well when you're trying to balance, and that's
Yes,
huge.
It is. And I notice each year it gets to be more and more of a challenge to balance. So it's important to me personally to keep doing the things that help me maintain the balance.
Right, and when you talk about balance too, there's always the issue of having falls.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
People with arthritis are more at risk of falling because of that weakness that they develop and that change in their balance. And so part of doing the balance exercise is to help prevent falls.
And you have to really be committed to it as well. I think that's the big issue.
And I think once I understood that the movement is what's going to make things better, that changed my thinking. And I think that's the important thing, the mindset, that it is going to help. It's not going to make things worse.
Right, right.
And so Nancy, once again, how can people contact you about the study if they're interested in participating?
So my number is 802-656-9265. It's easiest, they can just call.
And once again, who's eligible for this study?
So people age 50 to 75 who have hip or knee osteoarthritis who are ready to start physical therapy, and they have access and are willing to use a mobile device if needed for the study.
And it's a 12-week commitment, you said?
It's 12 weeks. It's about approximately 6 weeks of physical therapy with a follow-up visit at 12 weeks.
Well, terrific. Well, I want to thank you both for joining me today and talking about this issue. And
You're welcome.
best of luck to you, Rosemary. Keep
Thank
going.
you. Yes.
Thank you very much.
That's our program for today. I'm Judy Simpson. We'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.